This is a step-by-step tutorial on how to make your first ever biryani. I'll be using good old Shan's Sindhi Biryani mix. It's the perfect blend of all your spices. I like to increase the meat by about 300 to 500 grams, so instead of using 1 kilogram of meat, I'll be using about 1.5 kilograms. Feel free to follow the package measurements if you like your biryani pretty spicy. Make sure you get bone-in skinless chicken. They're the same pieces we use for curries. I freeze the pieces that have very little meat on or have skin on them for a future soup. Cut off any excess fat hanging off of the meat and make sure to pat them dry. In the largest pot you have, add in about 1.5 cups of neutral oil. You can fry sliced onions at this point for the topping and then use the same oil for the chicken. I forgot to fry the onions, so I had to use another pot for that later, but I'll show the correct order here. Add in your sliced onions on high heat, and once they start sizzling, turn the heat to medium and continuously stir. You don't want to burn the onions or you'll have to restart. I usually use red onions, but I had yellow onions on hand today. Both will work. The foam forming on top is just the water content leaving the onions. They will be browning slowly under the foam, so remember to keep stirring and checking the color. Once they reach a golden brown color, turn off the heat and take them out on a paper towel lined plate. As mentioned earlier, you can use the same oil for the chicken masala. This is how my mom always makes the chicken masala. The package directions are slightly different from this method. For the chicken masala on high heat, add the chicken to the oil to get a light sear on it and to get rid of the raw chicken flavor. About 3 to 4 minutes on each side. Make sure all the chicken pieces make contact with the oil. This shouldn't be a long process. You're not trying to cook the chicken, you just want a bit of color on it. Add in your ginger and garlic pastes and all the biryani masala. Mix well and let it fry for a few minutes. Add in your peeled and quartered potatoes. Mix well, and after a few minutes, add in chopped tomatoes. Since the packet will only season the recommended amount of chicken, I added in another tablespoon of salt for the extra chicken I used. Add in 2 heaped tablespoons of plain yogurt. Mix well. After a few minutes, you'll see the masala or the gravy forming. I fished out my chicken because I don't want it to overcook since it'll also steam later. The potatoes need more time, so I covered and cooked them on medium heat. Check the doneness of the potatoes. If you need to reduce your masala, you can cook it uncovered so the excess water evaporates. Add the chicken back in once your potatoes are done, and you have about 2 to 3 cups of gravy for the layering process. For the rice, I'll be using Tilda basmati rice. I prefer this over sela or parboiled rice. I soak 4 cups of rice instead of the 3.5 that the package says. Get the largest pot you have and fill it 3/4 of the way with water. Season with about 4 tablespoons of salt. Don't worry, most of the salt will get strained away with the water, but we need to make sure there's plenty of salt for the rice to soak it in and get seasoned thoroughly. When your water comes to a boil, wash and rinse your rice about 3 times to wash off the excess starch. Carefully add the strained rice to your pot. Gently stir the rice often to make sure nothing sticks or clumps. You're going to boil the rice until it's about 80% cooked through. If you cook it completely now, then it'll be mushy after it steams. It should have a clean break and a slight bite when you test it. Strain your rice and keep it off to the side until needed. If you're comfortable, you can make the chicken masala and boil the rice simultaneously to save time. On the other hand, if you're hosting and need to make multiple dishes, you can boil and strain the rice and make the chicken masala and refrigerate them both separately in airtight containers. You can also prepare your green masala beforehand. This includes your crunchy fried onions, chopped cilantro and mint, some green chilies, and sliced lemons if you want. Before layering, make sure your oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. In a small bowl, take out a few tablespoons of the chicken masala and add in orange food coloring and Kewra essence. You can find both of these in any Pakistani or Indian stores. People also mix the food coloring and the Kewra essence to a few tablespoons of ghee. Feel free to do that if you'd like. Layering is the fun part, kind of like layering the components of a lasagna. In a 16-inch roasting tray, place half of your rice on the bottom. Don't worry, nothing will stick. Before I add in half of the chicken masala, I scoop some of the excess oil out. I don't want the rice to be overly greasy. Layer on half of your chicken masala. Dot half your Kewra essence and orange food coloring mixture on the first layer. Sprinkle on half your cilantro and mint, a few of your green chilies, and nestle in some of your lemon slices. Make sure to poke out any seeds in the lemon slices before placing them on. I didn't have any on hand today, but my mom also layered in a few dried prunes. Sprinkle on half your fried onions as well. For the second layer, add your remaining rice, chicken masala, and the rest of your toppings. Cover tightly with a couple sheets of aluminum foil to create a nice seal for the rice to steam in. Cover and place in your oven for about 30 to 45 minutes. You'll probably have to remove the top rack for the roasting dish to fit. After 45 minutes, carefully remove the foil. The cilantro and the mint darken when they cook. Don't worry, they're not burned. Mix the biryani very gently. You don't want to squish the fluffy rice. Your house will smell amazing, and I promise the biryani will be the star of your dinner. Top with some extra freshly chopped coriander and mint if you'd like, and enjoy.